Hey, hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Chastity. Here we talk about beauty, entertainment, celebrities, books, movies, anime, TV shows, kind of anything else that garners my attention this week. So, I did not have a second upload for YouTube and Patreon planned for this week, right? I filmed the baby video for YouTube, and then I filmed the Brandon Blackwood video for TikTok. And that was simply going to be it for me. I had no idea that getting on Twitter and clicking on a random space would turn into the hellfire that was Thursday night, early Friday morning. Yet here we are. I'm sitting in front of you. I have my notes. I've attempted to write some semblance of a timeline, but if I missed anything, if you guys were part of the spaces and I missed anything, definitely comment that down below. But I just know I tried my very best to write the most comprehensible timeline of events I physically could. So what happened was on Thursday night, I get on the Big Blue Bird app and I saw a bunch of my mutuals in this space. You know what Spaces is? I should probably start with that. So y'all remember Clubhouse, how they got the stage and the podium and people come up and they speak and have an audience. Yes, Twitter stole that. Twitter stole that. And now they have Spaces. So yeah. So I see all of my mutuals in this space called Surviving Sophia. Now, originally I thought the space was about that white lady, that musician, her name is Sophia, her last name's a U, who peed on one of her fans at her concert. I'm sorry, you know this now because of me, but I kept seeing that video on Twitter and her name is Sophia, so that is who I originally thought the space was. So I didn't click it at first because I didn't want to hear about Piss Lady until I started seeing tweets, and then that is how I got into this whole dumpster fire. So the Surviving Sophia space consisted of multiple influencers from Ricky Thompson, Denzel, and some other people. Hey, hi, Editing Chastity here. I would like to mention that the space itself was not created by the influencers, created by regular everyday people who personally were scammed by Sophia. And then they went to the police, and the police said, girl, I don't really know what you want me to do with that. And then they came onto Twitter and made the space so they could air out their grievances. And then I guess as more people saw it from the hashtag, these influencers mutuals were in there, they saw it and they jumped in, and that's how it got taken over by all the rich people. Sorry, I'm near my notes to make sure I get this right. Sophia has allegedly stolen thousands of dollars from these influencers. She has scammed her way into hotel rooms and into luncheons and very private events for LA's, popular social circle. She was allegedly at one point pregnant with Jack Harlow's baby, and while pregnant, she was living with and working for Jeff Wittick. It's a really random assortment of people, a very random assortment of people. So Sophia had befriended Ricky Thomas and had fed him a lot of alleged lies about her life that seemed believable enough to him not to question it. And through this sort of friendship, because I just genuinely don't understand how Sophia was able to worm her way into all of these social media groups and all these famous people. But she had gotten close enough to them that they actually planned to go on a trip to Vegas to go see Jack Harlow perform, who Sophia had alleged was her boyfriend. Now, it was Sophia's job to book the flight and the hotel, and when they got to the airport, there were no flights scheduled. So Denzel kind of thought that maybe there was just an issue with the system, maybe something happened, nothing too crazy. He ended up paying the over $3,000 for all of the travel, and then once they got to Vegas, the same thing happened at the hotel, and Denzel paid for that as well. Denzel covers the cost of the trip because he is being told that he is going to be reimbursed. they actually do end up going to Jack Harlow's show, and they actually do end up backstage with VIP passes. Now, Denzel and Ricky assume it's because, Sophia is Jack's alleged girlfriend or whatever, that she knows him. But in actuality, the reason why they got backstage is because they're Ricky Thompson and Denzel, and they got there because of who they are, not because of her. Now, allegedly, this is not the first time that Miss Sophia has gone into events, that she wasn't invited to. Apparently, she just showed up to the VMAs and like they all went together, and then we got to the door, like her name wasn't there, and so Ricky and Denzel leave her, and then they turn around and she's sitting right next to them with even better access passes than they do. Okay, good sis. One thing about Sophia, it's very clear from all these stories that she has the gift of gab, because she really shows up to events with nothing and gets access passes. Apparently, she also snuck into Rolling Loud and allegedly stole VIP passes. Again, I have no proof of that. That's all alleged. And again, it is so crazy to me that she just shows up to events with her name nowhere and then somehow gets in, and no one thinks that's suspicious. She's never on the list, but she somehow talks her way in, and no one's like, that's really weird. That's really strange. People had also been saying that Sophia had been telling everyone that she had been living in one of the apartments that Jeff Wittick had owned. If you don't know who Jeff Wittick is, he's part of the Vlog Squad. He's the dude that David had on the crane and then slammed him into it and broke his face. Yeah, that dude. Yeah, she was alleging that she lived in an apartment because she been working with Jeff for months. Jeff stated, because he joined the space, that he met her one time outside of a club and she told him that she was a publicist, and that was the extent of her conversation. She's told everyone that she meant that she's a publicist, though has no clients, but she's a publicist. So I'm guessing just the way she webbed her lies, it just had these influencers believing that Sophia was just a friend of a friend, like a hanger on, something like that. No one really ever questioned it. They were just like, oh, she knows so and so, but that really wasn't the case. She really didn't know anyone, and she just kind of would just get her way in the middle of all these social media people, which is so crazy to me that no one ever just questioned where'd this girl come from? You don't really know her, and you don't really know her, and I don't really know her, so why's she with us? So we're about to get very, very serious, because Sophia alleged that she was gang raped by Jack Harlow's people, and that Ricky was there watching and he didn't do anything. And then after that happened, she was kind of friends, but not really friends, with this girl that knew Jeff. And she had been telling this girl that, Jeff was her employer. So the girl thought it'd be a good idea to call Jeff and tell him what happened. And so gets them in contact. And I don't really know why Jeff gave her his credit card information, but she told him that she was stranded, she had been beaten and raped, so he gave her his credit card information. I don't understand why he did that. I fully understand giving her money, because if someone calls me and tells me they've been brutally raped and beaten, I got you, but giving her your credit card information seems like a lot. She should have just been given Venmo, Cash App, Zilla, everything but your credit card information. But I do understand he was trying to be kind. I do feel like after listening to him speak in the space, he has a white savior complex, but that's here nor there. But now that she had his credit card information, she actually tried to book another flight, and Jack had caught it. And I think that is the catalyst that made everyone start asking each other questions, possibly just who really is this girl? There is a man in the live that is not a social media person. His name is Alec Holden. He's a real estate agent. He apparently had matched with Sophia on a Hinge. She came over to his home. She brought a bottle of wine. He alleges that the wine was spiked because after he drank it, he allegedly passed out. And then in his sleep, she took pictures of his clothes, stripped him naked, took nude photos of him. I don't know if anything more happened than that because, again, he was passed out. And then she stole things from him. It's being alleged that Sophia had actually stolen about 10K of cash from around his home. So, again, all alleged. Another story about her, she had told this girl that her mother had died and she was struggling to pay for funeral costs. And the girl had given her $4,000. Again, a girl that really wasn't anyone's friend. People were just very charitable. Gave her the $4,000, but at the end of the day, that ended up being a lie. The girl's mother never died. I think another lie Sophia was telling was that she had lupus, and she actually lied to this charity about having lupus, and they gave her money. Like, Sophia would go as far as to like create fabricated like emails like for confirmations from flight, or emails from like Jack Harlow's team to other influencers. Like, listen, she had everything figured out how she gonna keep these lies going. Like, she was running around telling people about her boss, Jeff Whittick, or about her boyfriend, Jack Harlow. And she was just running around LA, Las Vegas, Atlanta, Miami, not paying for a thing. Not a hotel room, not a flight, not food, not jewelry, not just living lavishly off of all of these like social media people's expenses. So at one point, Sophia was staying with this one woman, but because like this woman had children and Sophia's behavior just wasn't the type of behavior you should have around kids, she had kicked Sophia out. Sophia then broke into this woman's home and then stole her bank cards. It's also being alleged that she was friends with this woman named Susie, and she would use her information to like Venmo money to other people that I guess she owed. There are just so many lies in this situation that I don't even think, like, looking at my other, cause I have like two sets of notes, and there's just so much in here. I don't know. Like, I don't know. But I feel like I've told pretty much everything that would be relevant. But there's definitely threads on Twitter if you want to find. I'll probably will link one of them that I think is like super informative, like in like the comments, or like in, I'll put it in the description box so y'all could really like get to the nitty gritty because it's just so much. It's so much. So then after that space ended, another space started up called Surviving Stupidity, and they were really just there to defend Sophia. They said it was because that she's a Somali woman, so we have to protect her. And yes, I do believe in protecting, your peers. If you are Black women, protect other Black women. But protection also comes with accountability, and I do feel like it is your place to hold your sisters accountable for their behavior, and what is being alleged is heinous. Also in that live, they were being up her scamming and calling it reparations. I think they completely missed the part where like she very much so also scammed and stole from other Black and Somali people. It is not reparations when you steal from your own people. Okay, I thought we were all pro-Black. We're all pro-Black, and then it's fine to steal from Black people. That's why I was like, with their space, they were just kind of saying anything. Because I'm like, she was stealing from Black people as well. It wasn't like she was just stealing from a bunch of white folks. Like, no, she was stealing from her own community as well. Also, the fact that like they made it very apparent about like believing victims, but not once did they bring up Alec, the man that she drugged and got naked and took inappropriate pictures of, and all those things. Again, we don't know what she did while he was passed out, but he is also a victim. He was violated to a degree, and like it was believe her. And then as these spaces went on, people were like not believing him, and it's like either we believe all victims or we don't. Don't pick and choose. Don't pick and choose. That's nasty. That is very, very nasty. Also, I did not like the fact that in the second space, they were trying to put all of the blame on Ricky, because there was some stuff that was happening in that other space. People kind of speaking on the alleged rape, almost like it didn't actually happen. And the thing is, that space was not created by Ricky, so he can't silence people's mics, he can't kick people off, He came on to say his piece, and then afterwards he was mute. Ricky was not kikiing, he was not laughing at jokes, he was not having a fun time. He was very upset, okay? He said what he had to say, and then he muted his mic. The same with Alec. He came in, told his truth, muted his mic. And they sat there in this new space and they blamed him and they gaslit him, telling him that like it is his place because he's the most noble person in there. And I hate when people do that. When a situation happens and they find the most famous person there and they put all the blame on them, even if it's not their fault. Ricky, because to me, it is so crazy. Because they were also like, you should have defended her. You know, you have all this big platform. You should have been there defending her. And I'm like, you are asking someone to defend the person who is running around saying that he facilitated her rape. Are you dumb or are you stupid? That is asking for so much from somebody. To be like, I know you're saying these horrible things about me. I'm still going to defend you. You're asking too much out of Ricky. You truly, truly are. And I don't think Ricky, in the regards of the behavior of the space, that wasn't his space. That was not his. He said what he had to say and then he was done. And then Denzel tried to join, and when he did join, he came in real hype because when Ricky first got to the mic, they all jumped him. They all dogpiled and screamed and yelled at Ricky. But then Denzel does it, right? Denzel does it. And it's all live, love, laugh, okay? We're all tranquil and peaceful. Let's not raise our voice, okay? We're just here to talk. Even though, not even 5 minutes ago, you were screaming and yelling about how you were going to use every bit of influence you had to cancel Ricky. Just 5 minutes ago, you said you were going to ruin that man's life. But now it's peace, love, and tranquility. Because someone came and got your ass. And they completely, like, kicked Denzel out. I didn't like that. Because that was a trend of that space. That if, like, you did not agree with them, they shut you down immediately. They were not letting people of opposing opinions speak. And that was gross. Because they were just there to victim blame the victims of Sophia. Which again, those people, because I have a lot of questions about those people, about how did no one ask? No one asked any questions. This girl just appears out of nowhere, says she knows this person, says she knows that person, and y'all never were like, how do you actually know Sophia? So they were being dumb. They were being dumb and they were being stupid, right? They were being too trusting. It's very hard for me to be mad at someone for not being so jaded that they wouldn't help someone. You know? That it feels hard to do that, but also it's like you didn't know this girl. And I get y'all were trying to be nice, but y'all being a little too nice. Y'all really, really were. But back to the original space. The way they jumped at Ricky was gross. Really, really gross. And I really just feel like they just dogpiled on him because one, Ricky would allow it. He's just the type of person that would just allow people to blame him for shit he didn't even do. And two, he's the most recognizable person in that space. But he did not participate in the kikiing. He said what he had to say, and then his mic was mute like 90% of the time. So I don't appreciate that dogpiling. None of that was his fault. And again, asking him to defend someone who's saying such horrible things about him is insanity. It is actually crazy. Also, that second space was spreading a lot of misinformation. Like, when I was tuned in, a lot of the facts they had wrong. Again, like, not bring up the fact of Alec and her taking off his clothes and taking nude pictures of him. Like, there were no facts and no accountability. Again, I understand protecting your sister, but it just felt like you were protecting her because she was Somali and not because she was right. Because when anyone tried to like really dig in them, it was cut off mic, get out of here, we don't want to hear you. Like, because there are some things that's just like, I'm not going to allow a black person or a black woman to do anything because they're black. I refuse to do that. I hold my people accountable when it's necessary. And they just don't believe in that. Those girls were like, we don't want to hold her accountable. She's Somali. She don't need that. which is insanity to me. That you could see all of this and be like, yeah, but not really. But minus that one space, there were other spaces that were actually having good dialogues and were able to see both sides and be able to see where the people in the spaces went wrong, but also the fact that, like, this girl did them fucking dirty. And there was a space called Catch Up that, like, their whole thing was making sure that we did not forget that Alec was a victim. I really do support everyone in that space that was, like, making a point, like, there is a man here who was also a victim. Like, she took off his clothes, she took pictures of him. Who the fuck knows what else she did to him while he was unconscious, right? Allegedly. Allegedly. And he is completely forgotten in this narrative. He is completely forgotten. So I do appreciate there was a space where he was not forgotten. And yeah, if there's any more that happens, I'll probably update you guys. But that's pretty much it for me. What are your guys' thoughts and opinions on this whole situation? Um, I'm sorry, because I was literally up to like 3 o'clock in the morning because it kept going. It kept going. It kept going. And I'm looking right now, and there's like another surviving like Sophia space like on Twitter like right now. Like there's like another can you see? I don't know if you guys can see, but there's like another space like right here. Like another one just happened. But yeah, that's it for me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully I'll have this edited up by Saturday. Cause it's Friday. If not, I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all. Patreon, y'all gonna get this early regardless. But yeah. See you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.